can start. नमस्कार, मीडिया के यहाँ उपस्थित साथियों का मैं स्वागत करती हूँ। इसके साथ ही मैं माननीय केंद्रीय वित्त मंत्री और कॉर्पोरेट मामलों की मंत्री श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण, माननीय केंद्रीय वित्त राज्य मंत्री श्री पंकज चौधरी, राजस्व सचिव श्री अजय सेठ, सीबीआईसी अध्यक्ष श्री संजय अग्रवाल और मंच पर उपस्थित सीबीआईसी के आदरणीय सदस्यों और अन्य उच्च अधिकारियों का भी स्वागत करती हूँ। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, जीएसटी परिषद की 55वीं बैठक कुछ देर पहले ही संपन्न हुई। माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी इस बैठक में लिए गए महत्वपूर्ण फैसलों को अभी हमारे साथ साझा करेंगे, जिसके बाद हम मीडिया से प्रश्न लेंगे। ब्रीफिंग शुरू करने से पहले मैं आपसे अनुरोध करती हूँ कि आप अपने मोबाइल फोन को साइलेंट मोड पर रखें। अब मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से अनुरोध करती हूँ कि वे आज की बैठक के फैसले के बारे में मीडिया से
Thank you very much. I'll give broad indications of the decisions taken so that my opening statement doesn't become too long, and post that on specific items I can always elaborate. See, I first go by the rate changes on goods, particularly specific under 1904 to 5%. As you know, fortified rice kernels are supplied with an intent of they get passed on to the PDS. So the poor benefit from it, and it was a conscious decision that we bring the price down, the tax down. Next is gene therapy, which is now very critical for life-saving measures taken for very life-threatening diseases, have been totally exempt. LR-SAM system is very important in defense, surface to air side. So in that, we decided to extend the IGST exemption which are provided to systems, subsystems, equipment, parts. Now the exemption is further extended. It was, I think in 2019, the exemption was provided. Now the exemption continues, so we've extended it. Then there is a reduction in the rate of compensation cess to 0.1% on supplies to merchant exporters at par with the GST rate on such supplies. So this was a particularly important request which had come from traders and exporters. In order to help exporters, this relief is being provided, otherwise the working capital has been blocked because they pay it and then claim it back. So this is with a clear intent of helping exporters. Next is to exempt IGST imports of all equipment and consumable samples by inspection teams of the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, subject to specific conditions. On input of food preparations that are supplied for food preparations intended for free distribution to economically weaker sections under a government program subject to existing conditions. So this is also an extension of the 5% rate which prevails for food items which go into food preparation that is used for free distribution for the weaker sections. So these are the reduction or exemption containing more than 50% flying ash. if it has more than 50% fly ash content, it will fall under a particular HS code of 6815 and it will attract 12% GST. This is very important. The next one, this is also a clarification that black pepper, whether fresh green black pepper or dried, story, but if the agriculturist himself, call him a farmer, call him a plantation worker, if he himself is giving it or a small person is giving it, then it is not liable to GST. Then this will be important to amend the definition of pre-packaged and labeled items to cover all commodities that are intended for retail sale and containing not more than 25 kg or 25 liters, which are pre-packed as defined by the Legal Metrology Act, or a label affixed thereto is required to bear the declarations under the provisions of the Act. This is also very important because it's an amendment, so that clarification has, for the lack of it, has created a lot of confusion. So we are defining what actually is pre-packaged and packaged. Before I get are eligible for exemption, but let us understand, and I provide this clarification now, that this exemption does not cover payment gateways and other fintech services which do not involve settlement of funds. So payment aggregators alone, I'm talking about, who do less than 2,000 rupees will have that exemption provided. Another important decision, there are several which will be covered in detail in the press note which all of you will receive. I clarify that no GST is payable on the penal charges levied and collected by banks and NBFCs from borrowers. No GST is payable on the penal charges levied and collected by banks and NBFCs from borrowers for non-compliance with terms, loan terms. Before I get into the specific details of others, broad items of interest for all of you all, I'd like to list them out. There are about 8 of them. We have our Minister of State, Pankaj Chaudhary ji, who chaired the compensation cess-related group of ministers. They have given a request to the council, which the council has accepted today, that they need more time to get into the details. So that has been given an extension. Nothing specifically mentioned about the term, but the extension has been provided. Not been agreed on. States did not feel comfortable. They didn't want the ATF because they saw it as part of the crude petroleum diesel basket, and therefore they said that alone cannot be taken out, and therefore that continues to remain where it is today. There was also a suggestion just ATF could be put to a GOM so that they can think whether it is worthy of consideration to be brought into the GST. But they did not. The Minister of Bihar was for almost just before lunch, he left. He was there in the morning session, and since he had to leave a bit early, he decided that the council take that issue up first. And he did say that after good work, he expects that it requires more time, and therefore health insurance related GOM work also requires more time, so they have gone to. So the GOM felt that it needed a bit more time. The rate rationalization GOM also needs more time. Again, there I would like to inform through you, the media, that speculation about what the rate rationalization is doing is seen everywhere. And there are reports which are also carried on saying it may be like this, it may be like that, even in the media, because that's there and therefore you also report on it. उसका असर पूरे सोसाइटी के ऊपर पड़ता है और सभी वर्गों के ऊपर मन में ये चिंता हो जाती है कि क्या होने वाले हैं, क्या बढ़ेगा, कम होगा, घटेगा। ये स्पेकुलेशन में प्लीज मत भाग लेना, क्योंकि कमिटी का काम खत्म नहीं हुआ। I honestly want media to please check up every time with the concerned people. क्या इसमें फाइनल हो गया है, निर्णय हुआ है कि नहीं, ये चेक करके छपाई है ना। छपाने में लोगों के मन में बहुत सारी चिंता आ जाता है कि speculation on these very sensitive matters is not really good for any one of us. So rate rationalization has also not finalized its report. They need a bit more time. एक विषय मैं आपके सामने रखना चाहती हूँ। छोटी कंपनियों रजिस्ट्रेशन में बहुत दिक्कत होता है, क्योंकि उनके रजिस्ट्रेशन को that concept note today received an in principle approval of its